Swish is like an alias, obviously, like, you know, a alternate personality. I think just tying to my background, like, you know what I'm saying, I used to hoop. I used to do that shit real well. And, you know, so people was naturally calling me Swish, but I feel like the can't miss part is just, it personifies everything. Like, you can't miss. When you say you can't miss, it's like you doing everything right, man. You got, whether you doing it 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying, whether you got a family, whether you're doing right in everything, every aspect of your life, you can't mess with it. So I feel like that just tied in together, and it kind of just made it more marketable. Like, Swish Can't Miss, that's something you gotta, it's repetitive, and it makes it stick. So that's how that came about.
You mentioned basketball. What stopped you from playing basketball? Or do you still play basketball?
I still do from time to time, but just more recreation now, just to keep the cardio going. I feel like, you know, everybody has that passion. Basketball was definitely my passion at one point. But I feel like at a certain point you start to analyze your priorities. When I looked at where I wanted to go in my life, I was looking at it more as so as what's gonna make me the most money, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like I wasn't gonna go to the NBA, I had to be realistic with myself. So I was like, man, let me go ahead and lock in with pursuing music and then also going to school, doing my thing and making myself the most marketable in terms of making the most money for myself.
Gotcha. So, I mean, where do you want to go in your life? Where do you think you're going?
I mean, I want to do this music thing, man. I feel like I got the talent. I feel like I got the content. I feel like I got the work ethic, definitely, to really go far with this music industry. So, I mean, people say you don't need a plan B, you should be focused on plan A. So, I mean, this will be my plan A. But I also feel like I did things to put myself in place if this doesn't work out to have a plan B as well. But I'm going to ride this thing as long as I can and make sure that I'm doing everything to put myself in the best position to succeed.
So when was it when you just, you know, woke up and say, hey, I want to start doing music? Was it anybody who say, hey, bro, you should start music, start this?
Yeah. Nah, it's a funny story because when I first came home from school, I graduated and then I linked up with my manager and, you know, we just started going out. You know, we was going out for birthdays, random Saturdays, and we would go out and like just spend a ridiculous amount of money. And people wouldn't understand it because we just regular guys. We had 9 to 5s and we just going out spending money, popping like 20, 30 bottles at the club. So it got to a point people started asking, you know, are y'all rappers? What do y'all do? Are y'all famous? So I was like, man, you know what? One of us should be a rapper. And I felt like that I had the, you know, the talent to do so. So, you know, I locked in. I learned how to do, get the software for my MacBook, sat in my basement and knocked out 15 songs. Played it for my homies and they was like, you know, this is lit, this is good. So I was like, yeah, let's do this for real then. And here we are.
So where are you right now, you know, in music or your music career?
Okay, you know, I just started in November. So realistically, I'm like 6 months, 7 months in. We'll be in May now, so maybe a little longer than that. But I just dropped an album on Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, Spotify. Go get that. Conflict of Interest, Swish Can't Miss. 15 tracks on it, so I dropped that. Right now, I think the most important thing for me is getting content out, being more visible to people that are eventually going to be my fans. So like that's getting videos on WorldStar, you know, putting more content on my Instagram and just getting content on the internet so people can look me up, look on YouTube, find my videos. So we're working on making videos for the songs on my album, and then we also working on making videos for new songs that I haven't released yet. So that way I can push some more content, get some more buzz going, and then we're gonna drop another album. Hopefully, I'll say probably by the winter, 2019, going into 2020.
So how did your album work out for you? Like, was it expected as far as like the results, the outcome? Is it something that you expected?
I mean, honestly, I didn't know what to expect, man. It was my first time ever putting anything out or like stepping out there, you know, putting myself in the limelight like that. So I think the reaction was better than expected. A lot of people that I haven't heard any negative complaints about from anybody that's listened to it, so we could put it like that. Nobody has said anything bad about it. I got 200 plus people to show up to the release party, and nobody ever knew I started rapping. So it's like, you know, able to do that within a 6 to 7 month span. I feel like a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can say that they just start rapping and are able to get people to turn out for their events and stuff like that. So I think the reaction's been pretty good.
Pretty good. So what would you do different?
Only thing that I would do different, I'll probably say just more promotion. I think as I'm going along with it, I'm learning more of the ins and outs on what's the right platforms to get on, who the right people to talk to, where my money should go in terms of marketing. I feel like, you know, initially we just had one goal in mind, and that was just to make the album and then see what happened. I think if we had more of a focused approach, things would be taking off a little bit faster. But I like the way things are going right now, and obviously everything's a learning experience, so I really wouldn't change anything.
You right now in music, what do you feel like is your biggest challenge with music or your career?
I think just the promotion, getting out there, because the quote unquote the mumble rap is what's in. People like the melodics, the mumble rap, and I don't do anything like that. I give content, I talk about real shit, real people, real relatable events. So although I do think content music is making a turn and coming back, I feel like it's really hard for people that don't have like a gimmick to stick unless you actually putting heavy money or heavy investment into the promotion. So I think right now where I'm at, it's all about just getting people to hear my music. Anybody that's heard it has had nothing bad to say about it. So the more people that hear it, the more my shit's gonna take off.
So I watched this interview with a new rapper called Blueface. Have you heard of him? Yeah. So basically he said that he just does it for the money. Right. He doesn't even like or listen to music. Right. So like where I'm coming with that is, like, do you have a passion with doing music? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you stand with you in music? Like, give me a background of your music.
No disrespect to Blueface. I think his music is great. Even though he may not have a passion for it, he knows how to make shit that people want to hear. But I think speaking for myself, I wouldn't have jumped into the music shit if I didn't have a passion for it. There's a lot of other things that I could put my mind to and try to make money from. So I think that music is an art form. It's a form of self-expression. And I feel like there's a lot of shit that happened in my life that I wasn't able to put out in a conventional way. So when I was able to turn to the music and then also make it in a way where people actually can relate to it and want to listen to it, I feel like that became my passion, just being relatable for somebody that might be going through something but don't know how to express it. So music is my passion, but also being able to like just reach out to a whole different demographic that I wouldn't be able to touch without music.
Gotcha. So your last album that you dropped, and even we shot a video recently, Money Problems. I remember in your verse, hearing, certain, words and such, like a little bit of pain, you know what I'm saying, of your past, I guess. So before music, you know what I'm saying, like where were you? You know what I'm saying, who was Swish before music? I remember you mentioned basketball. Tell me who was you before music?
Nah, before music, man, I guess you would say it's pretty average, man, like everybody else, man, graduating high school, hopping into college, not really knowing what to do, feeling like basketball was the way out for me or the way that was gonna make me money, and then that not working out, just a constant struggle to figure out what I was gonna do. So I feel like that's also a brilliant thing about my music too, because I don't come from like a position where I'm talking about like street shit all the time, but I'm also talking about a position where I was struggling, like I'm broke, you know what I'm saying, don't have no job, not really talking to my family that much. So it's like, I still had my issues, I still had to struggle, and I still had to figure out what I needed to do to get back on my feet. So I feel like being able to talk about that and be straight up honest with that is what makes my music so good, because I'm not just bullshitting with you, I'm talking about shit that I actually went through.
All right, so what's next for Swish? You know what I'm saying? What can I expect, or the people expect, to come from you as far as features, albums? Do you work with anyone? You know what I'm saying? What can happen next, or what can I expect from you next?
I think the key is being open-minded. So like I'm open to any possibilities, but strategically, where I want to go is I want to drop another album, but I want it to hit harder than the first one. I wanted to be able to drop something and then start touring immediately. So I'm working on a project right now. It's called Activated. That title is tentative. I might change it, but I'm thinking about putting like 10, 15 songs on it again, and then really hitting the ground running with promotion, being able to get out into the streets, get a street team together, get the marketing team together, and really force it on people. You know what I'm saying? You put something in somebody's face enough, if it's good, it's gonna stick. So I think that's just where I'm at. Like, I'm really focused on getting my shit out there and in people's faces, so they have no reason but to accept it.
Now, how are you with reaching out to, other artists from the area, or even, away with doing, features? Do you reach out? What do you do?
Yeah, me and my manager, Mo, we reached out to a couple of rappers, Young Manny being one, and we also reached out to OT Genesis team as well. So again, being so new in it, it's kind of hard to know exactly the route to go, but I feel like it's a good experience because it's all a learning process. So we're trying to network with different people, see what routes we need to take, trying to see who knows who, what features we could get, how much that costs, where we can get our footing with things. But honestly, I feel like my shit go hard without a feature, but obviously you need a cosign. So, you know, with me, it's if I get a feature, cool, but you know, I started this shit by myself, and I'm gonna keep rocking by myself if I need to. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think network is important, but the rap industry, the music industry is funny anyway. You know, people don't want to work with you. People don't want to see you succeed. So you just gotta know and pick your poison and who to talk to and who to mess with. And I feel like that's the process we in right now.
When you're in the studio, like, what gives you a drive to just, you know, be motivated or put that shit on the people when you're in the booth? Like, what, you know, like for instance, Marshawn Lynch, he needs Skittles. You know what I'm saying? Take off. What gives you a drive to, you know, be hungry in the studio?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's right at the studio, but throughout the day, I do a lot of like reading or like listening to motivational shit. So when I come into the studio, I already have an idea of what I'm trying to do, whether I have the beat already or whether I have the lyrics already. I already have an idea of what I'm trying to do. And I just, you know, tap into all that shit that I've been reading upon, or like the self-development things. Like I read the 48 Laws of Power recently, and it just talked about how like you have to know your direction you're going into and know exactly how you want to attack your opponent so your opponent can't get the upper hand on you. So I feel like just having that kind of mindset that every time you step in there, you put in something that is coming from the root, you know, the root of your soul into a microphone or into a beat. And it has to be perfect every time. So I go in there just trying to strive for perfection every time, and if it's not right, I'm not going to do it.
In the rap game right now, who do you look up to?
I say Drake. I think Drake influences a lot of rappers, and he's why? Yeah, just because he's done a lot of things that the normal rapper wouldn't do. Like, you know, he makes hit songs with trap niggas, but then he hops on a pop record, or he drops an album. One side is rap and the other side is R&B. That type of shit. Like, and he's not afraid to embrace that side of thing and still call himself a hip hop artist. So I think that's very admirable, just because you know, he's able to tap into a different lane that was never touched before. And now you see everybody trying to do the melodic thing or sing on the track, you know, and things like that. So, and it's crazy how, I was talking about this earlier, how, you know, Drake hops on any song and it's an automatic hit. You know, Drake hops on any feature and that rapper streams go way up. So I feel like to be able to have that kind of impact is the kind of impact I want to have on the game, you know, be able to just get on anything and it automatically stick.
Stuck in my ways, stuck in my nah, yeah.
Best rapper all time.
All time?
All time.
That's tough.
You can give a top three.
That's tough. All right, yeah, top three. I'll probably say Cole. I'm a Jay fan, so Hov, of course. And honestly, y'all not gonna like this answer, but I'm gonna say Drake. Honestly, Drake would be number one, to be honest. That was no particular order, but Drake the best rapper. Just the way he's able to transcend his music. Like,
I mean, like out right now? Or
yeah,
like,
out right now, period, of all time.
Like, music
of all time.
Discography.
Of all time, honestly.
All time?
Honestly, of all time. You can't really say.
I can say it right now.
You can't really say that.
Drake is up there right now. Just because he fucking the streets.
I mean,
up.
I feel like Drake and Hov probably did his, like, went on a longest streak.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think Wayne best rapper all time.
I mean, and that's all. That's
Wayne there, yeah.
That's all on your genre of music.
Wayne
Cause
would be
me, I
definitely
think
my top five.
I think Boosie the
Yeah.
my favorite rapper.
When you get into that conversation, really about
Yeah,
who
but
you
we
like
not.
to listen
I thought
to.
we not talking about favorites though. We talking about of all time.
Of all time.
That means discography,
all time
music
hands down.
videos,
All time
EPs,
hands down. If you go
mixtapes.
through, all right, I'm gonna tell you. If you go through all time through mixtapes and albums, it's gonna be Wayne and Gucci. Mixtapes and albums.
Yeah, Gucci discography.
You break it down like that,
Yeah.
I can't argue
I
that.
agree.
But you can also argue that with Drake's discography. Like, I mean, what depends on what lane you want to put him in, but you got
what
that.
goes into all time?
I say like lyricism, of course, obviously, right? Consistency, hit records, platinums, albums sold. I mean, you gotta talk about that stuff.
Just creating your art, going to it, your own art.
Yeah, I mean, of course, your own creativity. The way you was able to illustrate stuff, the way you was able to.
Gucci bought that trap music.
Yeah. Nah, Gucci paid away for a lot of
a new
niggas.
standard for all the new trappers coming in. You feel what I'm saying? He set a new standard for all that.
I just think it's fascinating how Drake hop on anything and automatically
Yeah,
that
kill
song,
it. Yeah,
that song is the best record in the country.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a special person to do that.
He definitely got the longest run.
Showtime.
Like I used to say, you only got about 3 to 5 years.
10.
I'm pretty sure it's Drake that you would work with, you know, more than anybody in the rap game right now. But as far as locally wise, if it's anyone you can work with from the area, who would it be?
I mean, honestly, I was a big Wale fan when I was in college. So, you know, I would love to work with Wale, you know, just be able to pick his brain on those things and see how he was able to do things. You know, Shaq Glizzy is another one just because I think Wale and Shaq Glizzy kind of touch two different spectrums of the area. So I just wanted to be able to like work with them too just to see what things they did differently, what things I should pick up from them, and what things I should stay away from. I feel like just being able to network with them would be great and hopefully make good music together too.
Gotcha. So is it, if it's someone who looks up to you or, you know, want to follow in your footsteps or just want to do music in general, if it's any advice that you can give to them, what would it be?
I say, man, don't get discouraged, man. I feel like there's so many times during my days, especially since I started music shit, there's so many people that's gonna tell you, oh, it's hard or it's difficult or there's certain people that's better than you, all that kind of shit. I feel like it's really easy to get discouraged in anything though. You know, people chase their dreams all the time and get discouraged because they see somebody else doing better than them or their shit not taking off the way it's supposed to. So don't get discouraged, man. That's the one advice I would give anybody. You know, if you got something that you know you can make happen, you gotta stick to it. Anything good takes time. People got endless stories of how they was down bad or they was doing so-and-so for 4+ years and then they had that one break and then it popped. So you could be right at your breakthrough and you stop, you ain't hit it yet. So I feel like just not getting discouraged is the #1 key and being always motivated to your end goal.
I think we touched on everything so far. I appreciate it, bro.
That was solid work.
Hey, I had some money problems. Hey, can't have no fun without it. Can't miss. See, I wanted bloody bottoms. The struggle, it gave me knowledge. Hey, I had some money problems. I had went down on my last.
Yo, what it do? This SwishCantMiss coming to you live. Just rocked the interview with Twinny F, man. We coming to you with all hard content, all 2019. Can't miss.
20 up.